The large screen in the main lab of the galactic science vessel Curiosity lit up with urgent red notifications. Dr. Alan Grant looked up from his workstation, his 4 eyes blinking in sequence as he focused on the unexpected alert. "What is it?" he asked, his voice calm despite the unusual warning signs. His blue skin shimmered under the lab lights as he moved across the room. The vessel had been mapping an unexplored sector of the galaxy for the past 3 months, but this was the first time the sensors had triggered a high-priority alert. Dr. Lisa Morales, the ship's senior researcher, was already examining the data. Her thin, elongated fingers moved quickly over the control panel, her species' natural ability to process information allowing her to sort through the incoming data faster than any computer. "It's a planet," she said, her voice filled with disbelief. "Third from its star, but these readings, they must be wrong." Alan joined her at the console. "What's unusual about it?" "Everything," Lisa replied. "The gravity is 9.8 times stronger than our homeworld. The atmosphere contains significant amounts of highly reactive oxygen. Temperature ranges from freezing to burning depending on location and season. Water falls from the sky regularly. There are constant electrical storms, tectonic plate movements, and radiation from its star." Alan's secondary breathing sacs inflated in surprise. "That sounds like a Class 10 Deathworld at minimum. Nothing complex could evolve there." Lisa pointed to another set of readings. "That's just it. Look at these biosignatures. Not just microbial life. Complex, multicellular organisms. Thousands of different species, and this..." She highlighted a section of data. "These are artificial structures, buildings, roads, evidence of industry." "Impossible," Alan whispered. "No known species could survive such conditions, let alone build a civilization." The ship's AI announced, "Based on collected data, planet conditions exceed parameters for Class 13 Deathworld classification. Recalibrating. Analysis complete. Recommended classification Class 14. Note: no previous Class 14 world has been documented." The two scientists stared at each other in shock. In the 3,000 years of galactic exploration, no world above Class 12 had ever been found to harbor intelligent life. "We need to report this immediately," Alan said, his voice now urgent. "Captain Reeves needs to know." Within hours, the Curiosity's discovery had been transmitted to the Galactic Council of Sciences. Emergency meetings were called as the greatest minds from 17 different species gathered to analyze the data. Dr. Alan Grant stood before the council, his presentation showing images captured by probes now orbiting the mysterious planet. "As you can see," he explained, pointing to a night-side view of the planet, "the lights of civilization are clearly visible. Radio transmissions suggest multiple languages and cultures. And despite the lethal conditions, the dominant species appears to be thriving." Council leader Dr. Zorak leaned forward. "How is this possible? The atmospheric composition alone should prevent advanced life from developing." "We don't know yet," Lisa admitted, standing beside Alan. "But we've intercepted enough of their communications to learn they call themselves humans and their planet Earth." A murmur ran through the gathered scientists. "I propose an immediate first contact mission," said Alan. "We need to understand how any species could not just survive but build an advanced civilization in such hostile conditions." After much debate, the council agreed. A team would be assembled. They'd be best xenobiologists, anthropologists, and diplomats. They would make contact with these humans and solve the mystery of how life could flourish in what should be an impossible environment. As the meeting concluded, Alan looked at the main screen showing the blue and green planet turning slowly in the blackness of space. What kind of beings could possibly evolve in such a nightmare world? And what would it mean for the galaxy if they ever left their deadly home? The mystery of Earth had only begun to unfold. The Galactic Council chamber buzzed with nervous energy. 6 weeks had passed since the discovery of Earth, and today they would select the first contact team. Ambassador Eric Powell stood tall despite his anxiety. His pale green skin contrasted with the dark blue uniform of the diplomatic corps. If Chosen, he would lead the most important first contact in galactic history. Ambassador Powell called Council Leader Zorak. Step forward. Eric moved to the center of the circular room, feeling the eyes of 17 different species watching him. You understand the risks of this mission? Asked Zorak. I do, Eric replied. Earth conditions exceed safe parameters for all known species, but the potential knowledge we could gain is worth the risk. Zorak nodded. You will lead the diplomatic team. Dr. Kate Miller will head the scientific division. Kate stepped forward. Her species was known for their analytical minds and adaptability. She had 4 arms, each ending in 6-fingered hands, perfect for operating complex equipment. I've studied all available data on Earth, she said. My team has created special suits to help us survive the conditions. The following days were filled with intense preparation. The team studied Earth transmissions, learning the planet had over 7,000 languages, though one called English seemed most widespread. Kate watched footage of humans walking casually through rainstorms, something that would cause severe skin damage to her species. Look at this, she said to Eric, pointing to a video of humans playing in snow. They touch frozen water with their bare skin. It would cause immediate tissue death for us. Eric shuddered, and they seemed to enjoy it. In the testing chamber, volunteers tried out the Earth simulation room. The gravity was set to Earth normal, nearly 10 times stronger than most galactic homeworlds. A volunteer from the aquatic Nalari species entered wearing the protective suit. She took 3 steps before collapsing, the gravity crushing her despite the suit's support systems. I can't breathe, she gasped through the communicator. The team quickly extracted her. How do humans move in this? Asked Kate, reviewing the failed test. The next simulation tested temperature variations. Earth could go from freezing to burning hot depending on location and season. No single species in the galaxy could survive such ranges naturally. Their bodies must have incredible adaptation capabilities, said Eric, watching another test fail. The atmospheric chamber was equally troubling. Earth's air contained oxygen levels that would cause most species cells to break down from oxidation damage. Dr. Jax, a respiratory specialist, examined the data. Their bodies must have powerful antioxidant systems we've never seen before, the CO. Diplomatic training was just as challenging. Kate struggled to understand human expressions. Their faces moved in strange ways to show emotions. They bare their teeth when happy, she noted. In most species, that's a threat display. Eric studied human history files. They've survived multiple planetary extinction events, ice ages, plagues, and wars using only primitive technology for most of their existence. At night, Eric would sometimes stand in the observatory looking at the distant star that humans called the sun. Around it orbited the impossible world where these remarkable beings evolved. What kind of creatures are they? He wondered aloud. To consider such a hellish environment normal? The day of departure arrived faster than anyone expected. The contact vessel, named Harmony, was loaded with backup systems for every critical function. No risks could be taken when visiting a Class 14 Deathworld. As the final preparations were made, Kate approached Eric on the boarding ramp. Are you afraid? She asked. Eric considered the question carefully. Yes, he admitted, but I'm more curious than afraid. What kind of people could evolve in such conditions, and what might they teach us? Kate nodded, her forearms checking her equipment one final time. We're about to find out. The Harmony departed from the space station, beginning its journey to the deadly world called Earth and its impossible inhabitants. The Harmony entered Earth orbit after 3 weeks of travel. Through the viewing windows, the alien crew stared in awe at the blue and green planet below. Violent storms swirled across its surface. Lightning flashed over vast oceans. It's beautiful, said Kate, in a terrifying way. Eric checked the final landing preparations. Their envoy ship would touch down in a place the humans called Switzerland, chosen for its political neutrality. Life support systems functioning at maximum, reported the pilot. Gravity compensators at full power. Despite their preparation, nothing could ready them for the real thing. As the small craft descended through Earth's atmosphere, turbulence rattled the ship violently. "Is this normal?" asked Eric, gripping his seat. "For Earth, yes," replied Kate, checking readings on her monitor. "They experience this every time they fly." The landing site came into view, a flat field surrounded by tall, jagged mountains. A group of humans waited nearby, standing casually, in the open air without protective gear. The ship settled onto the ground with a gentle thud. Kate activated the external sensors. Temperature is 22 degrees Celsius, gravity at 9.8. Oxygen levels. She paused. Higher than our simulations. Everyone, final suit check. The team helped each other ensure their protective suits were sealed properly. These specially designed outfits would filter the toxic air, support their bodies against the crushing gravity, and regulate temperature. "Remember," said Eric, "move slowly, conserve energy." The outer door opened, and a ramp extended to touch Earth soil. Eric led the way, his steps careful and measured. Despite the gravity compensators in his suit, he felt heavy, each movement requiring effort. The human delegation approached. They walked with easy, fluid movements that seemed impossible in such gravity. A female human stepped forward. "Welcome to Earth. I am Dr. Olivia Martinez, lead scientist for the United Nations First Contact Division." Next to her stood a tall male. "Colonel John Baker, United Nations Security Force." Eric was about to respond when he felt his legs start to give way. The gravity compensators in his suit were struggling against Earth's pull. He began to fall forward. To his surprise, a small human child darted forward from behind the adults. The young boy, who couldn't have been more than 12 Earth years old, caught Eric's arm and helped steady him. "Careful, sir," said the boy. "The first step on Earth is always tricky." Eric was stunned. This child, this young, undeveloped human, had moved with lightning speed and gravity that strained advanced alien technology, and the boy had supported Eric's weight with one arm as if it were nothing. "Thank you," Eric managed to say through his translator. "What is your name?" "I'm Sam," the boy replied with a casual smile. "My mom works with Dr. Martinez. She said I could come see the aliens if I promised to behave." Colonel Baker gently guided Sam back to the human group. "Sorry about that. We told the kids to stay back." "No need to apologize," said Kate, her forearms adjusting her sensor equipment. "We are grateful for the assistance." Dr. Martinez gestured toward a nearby building. "We've prepared a facility with environments adjusted to your specifications. We can continue our meeting there." As they walked toward the building, the alien team struggled with each step. Meanwhile, the humans moved normally, some even bouncing slightly in their steps. Inside the facility, the aliens were shown to a room where gravity had been reduced to match their homeworlds. As the artificial field engaged, they felt their bodies lighten. Several team members sighed with relief. "Is Earth gravity uncomfortable for you?" asked Dr. Martinez, noticing their reaction. "We can adjust the settings further if needed." "What you consider normal would kill most species within hours," explained Kate. "Your world is classified as a Class 14 Deathworld, the most extreme environment ever discovered to support life." The humans exchanged glances. "Really?" said Colonel Baker. "It just seems like home to us." Eric looked at these remarkable beings who called the most dangerous known planet home. The real first contact was just beginning, and already every assumption about life in the galaxy was being challenged. Over the next few days, the United Nations facility became a hub of cultural exchange. The human delegates were eager to learn about galactic society, while the alien team was fascinated by how humans survived on Earth. Dr. Kate Miller spent most of her time with Dr. Frank Williams, a human biologist. They sat in the facility's laboratory, surrounded by screens showing data about Earth's wildlife. "So this creature, this bear, can hibernate for months without eating?" Kate asked, her forearms gesturing at the image of a large brown mammal. "Yes," Frank replied. "Many Earth animals have developed extreme survival mechanisms." Kate shook, her head in disbelief. "On most worlds, life follows predictable patterns. Here, It seems like everything evolved to endure impossible conditions. Frank smiled. We never thought of it as impossible. It's just normal for us. He pulled up new images on the screen. Microscopic organisms. These are some of our bacteria and viruses, he explained. We live with thousands of potential pathogens every day. Our immune systems constantly fight them off. Kate's skin paled. Any one of these would cause a pandemic on other worlds. That's what shaped us, Frank said. Earth isn't just about physical challenges, it's biological warfare on a microscopic scale, all day, every day. In another room, Ambassador Eric Powell was having an equally eye-opening conversation with Professor Linda Watson, a human historian. Your species has survived multiple extinction events? Eric asked. Linda nodded. At least 5 major ones. The most recent nearly wiped out all mammals about 65 million years ago when a large asteroid hit the planet. And you evolved after that? We did. Humans are quite new, evolutionarily speaking. But we've faced our own challenges. Ice ages, plagues, massive volcanic eruptions. Eric browsed through a collection of human art and literature Linda had provided. He noticed recurring themes of struggle, survival, and triumph against overwhelming odds. Your stories all seem to feature conflict and hardship, he observed. Linda thought for a moment. I suppose they do. We value perseverance. Overcoming challenges is central to how we see ourselves. Eric picked up a small device, a music player with headphones. Linda had explained it would let him experience human music. He placed the headphones over his ears and pressed play. The sounds that filled his ears were complex, emotional, sometimes harsh, sometimes beautiful. The music rose and fell like the geography of Earth itself, unpredictable, dynamic, and powerful. This is extraordinary, he said, removing the headphones. In galactic culture, harmony and predictability are valued in art. This is chaotic, but somehow meaningful. That evening, the human and alien teams gathered for a shared meal. Special food had been prepared for the visitors that would be safe for their biology. Colonel Baker was explaining human sports to several fascinated aliens. So in this marathon, humans run 42 kilometers without stopping? Asked one alien scientist. Yes, and the best runners finish in just over 2 hours, Baker said proudly. The aliens exchanged shocked glances. The sustained physical output needed for such a feat would exhaust most species completely. Across the room, Sam, the boy who had helped Eric upon arrival, was showing a small group of aliens his tablet device. On it was a game where animated characters fought each other in simulated combat. You find this enjoyable? Asked a young alien researcher. Simulated danger and violence? Sam shrugged. It's just fun. Don't you have games? We have puzzles and harmony-building exercises, the alien replied. As the evening progressed, Dr. Martinez addressed the gathering. Tomorrow we'll begin formal scientific exchanges. We're eager to learn about your worlds, just as you're learning about ours. Later, alone in his quarters, Eric recorded his observations for the Galactic Council. Humans don't just survive on their Deathworld, he dictated. They thrive because of it. The constant challenges of Earth have made them adaptable in ways we never imagined possible. They don't see themselves as victims of their environment, but as products of it, and they take pride in their resilience. He paused, considering his next words carefully. I believe we have much to learn from these remarkable beings. Their perspective on adversity alone could revolutionize galactic thinking. 1 week after first contact, the Galactic Council requested a formal demonstration of Earth's classification as a Class 14 Deathworld. They wanted proof of the extreme conditions and humans' ability to thrive in them. The demonstration was set up in a large field near the facility. Tall screens displayed vital signs and data readings for the audience of alien scientists and human observers. Diane Cooper, a wilderness survival expert, led the human demonstration team. She stood confidently before the gathering, her weathered face showing years of experience in Earth's harshest environments. Today we'll show you some basic survival skills that any trained human can perform, she explained. The first demonstration focused on temperature adaptation. 2 human volunteers sat in transparent chambers, one filled with ice, the other heated to what felt like a furnace. The cold chamber is at freezing temperature, explained Dr. Martinez to the alien observers. The hot chamber is at 50 degrees Celsius. The alien scientists watched in shock as the humans remained in these conditions for 30 minutes, showing discomfort, but no serious distress. On most worlds, these temperature extremes would cause immediate medical emergencies, said Kate, monitoring the readings. Yet their core body temperatures remained stable. Next came the water demonstration. Diane held up a glass filled with cloudy liquid. This contains minerals that would be toxic to most galactic species, she said. We call it hard water. It's common in many Earth regions. She drank it down in one gulp, then smiled. Refreshing. Several aliens visibly recoiled at the sight. The physical endurance tests were equally impressive. Human athletes demonstrated lifting weights that would crush most alien species. They ran distances that would exhaust others. They held their breath underwater for minutes at a time. Their muscle density is remarkable, observed an alien physiologist, and their cardiovascular system can rapidly adapt to different oxygen levels. For the injury recovery demonstration, Dr. Williams displayed medical scans of healed human bones and tissues. This patient suffered multiple fractures in a vehicle accident, he explained, pointing to the images. Within 6 weeks, the bones had fused. Within 6 months, full functionality returned. Ambassador Eric examined the scans with disbelief. On my world, such injuries would be permanently disabling, if not fatal. We break and heal all the time, said Dr. Williams with a shrug. Children especially. Their bodies are constantly getting damaged and repairing themselves. The stress resilience test drew particular attention. A human volunteer was connected to monitoring equipment while performing complex tasks under increasing pressure, loud noises, time constraints, and mental challenges. Most species experience neural collapse under sustained stress, Kate explained, to her team. Yet this human's problem-solving abilities remain largely intact despite elevated stress hormones. The most dramatic demonstration came at the end. Diane led everyone to a small cliff overlooking a deep pond. Many humans swim for recreation in their spare time, she said. Then, without warning, she dove off the cliff into the water below. The aliens gasped collectively. Several rushed to the edge, certain they had witnessed a suicide. Instead, they saw Diane surface with a smile, waving up at them as she treaded water effortlessly. She deliberately fell into a hazardous substance. For entertainment, whispered one alien to another. These humans are incomprehensible. As the demonstrations concluded, the Galactic Council representatives huddled together, discussing what they had witnessed. It's not just their physical capabilities, said Eric to the council leader via holographic communication. It's their mindset. They voluntarily expose themselves to danger and discomfort. They find it engaging, even pleasurable. The council leader's expression was grave. We must reconsider our understanding of intelligent life. The galaxy has never encountered beings like these. Back at the facility, Diane chatted casually with Sam and other humans, laughing about the aliens' reactions to their demonstrations. You should have seen their faces when I dove off that cliff, she said. You'd think I had grown wings. Sam grinned. Wait till they see what else we can do. 2 weeks into the diplomatic mission, disaster struck without warning. The facility's alert system blared to life in the early morning hours. Attention all personnel, announced the automated system. Solar radiation storm detected. Extreme levels expected within 4 hours. All non-essential activities suspended. 4. Human staff moved with practiced efficiency, securing equipment and preparing the facility's radiation shelters. The alien delegation, however, fell into near panic. Our ship's shields won't withstand this level of radiation, Kate told Eric, her 4 hands moving rapidly over emergency calculations, and the Harmony can't reach us in time. Dr. Martinez and Colonel Baker called an emergency meeting in the main conference room. The good news is our facility has radiation shelters designed for exactly this scenario, explained Dr. Martinez. The bad news is they weren't built with alien physiology in mind. Will they protect us? Asked Eric, his normally green skin now pale with worry. The shelters will block most radiation, said Colonel Baker. But your sensitivity is much higher than ours. We need to enhance the protection. The humans immediately divided into teams. Engineers began modifying the shelters, adding extra shielding using materials on hand. Scientists worked to create radiation-blocking solutions that could be applied to the aliens' quarters. Paul Rodriguez, the facility's chief technician, took charge of the life support systems. He realized the aliens' environmental controls would need to be reinforced to withstand power fluctuations during the storm. "I'll need to reconfigure the entire system," he said, already gathering his tools. "It'll be a tight timeline." Kate worked. Alongside him, her species' multiple limbs proving useful for the complex task. She noticed Paul worked with incredible focus and speed. "Your efficiency is impressive," she remarked as they rewired a critical junction. Paul smiled tiredly. "Just doing my job." As the hours passed, the radiation levels outside began to climb. The humans continued working without breaks, their faces showing determination rather than fear. By the third hour, most preparations were complete, but the environmental system was still vulnerable. Paul stayed to finish the work while others took shelter. "You should go to safety," Kate told him. "The radiation will begin affecting this section soon." 5 more minutes, Paul said, not looking up from his work. "Almost got it." Those 5 minutes stretched to 30 as Paul encountered unexpected problems. Kate stayed with him, amazed at his stamina and problem-solving under pressure. When they finally finished and hurried to the shelter, the storm had begun. Through reinforced windows, they could see the sky had turned an eerie green as radiation particles interacted with Earth's atmosphere. Inside the shelter, humans and aliens waited out the storm together. To Kate's surprise, many humans treated the dangerous situation as merely an inconvenience. Some played card games, others used the time to continue their cultural discussions. After 36 hours, the radiation levels finally dropped to safe levels. The facility had survived with only minor damage, and more importantly, everyone was unharmed. Dr. Martinez found Paul checking systems throughout the facility, despite having worked through the entire crisis with minimal rest. "Paul, you should be sleeping," she said. "You've been up for almost 2 days straight." He shrugged. "I've pulled all-nighters through college. This isn't so different." The aliens' life support systems needed monitoring. Later, in a private meeting with Eric and Kate, Dr. Martinez apologized for the emergency. "Please don't apologize," said Eric. "What we witnessed was extraordinary. Your people created solutions with limited resources under extreme time pressure. And that technician, Paul, he worked for 36 hours without rest." "That's normal for emergency situations," said Dr. Martinez, looking surprised at their reaction. "No," Kate said firmly. "It is not normal. On any other world, such a crisis would have caused mass casualties. Your people treated it as a routine inconvenience." "I suppose we're used to Earth throwing challenges at us," Dr. Martinez replied with a small smile. "When your planet tries to kill you regularly, you develop a certain resilience." Eric and Kate exchanged meaningful glances. The radiation storm had revealed something profound. Humanity's greatest strength wasn't their technology, or even their physical capabilities, but their psychological resilience and adaptability under pressure. News about Earth and its inhabitants spread quickly throughout the galaxy. The Galactic Council's preliminary reports caused a sensation among the 17 member species. Recordings of the human demonstrations were viewed billions of times, across thousands of worlds. On the Galactic Council's central world, emergency sessions debated the implications of humanity's existence. The Grand Chamber was filled with representatives from every species, their voices rising in concerned discussion. "These humans evolved in conditions that should make intelligent life impossible," said Council Member Ziv, his tentacles waving, for emphasis. "Their physical capabilities exceed all known parameters. They view deadly environments as recreational opportunities," added another council member. "What would stop them from settling worlds we consider too dangerous? They could expand across the galaxy faster than any species in history." Fear began to spread among some galactic populations. News channels across the stars carried alarming headlines. Deathworlders, could humans survive anywhere? Earth, the planet that creates predators. Are humans a threat to galactic peace? Meanwhile, back on Earth, humanity was having its own reaction to discovering they were considered exceptional. In a special United Nations session, world leaders gathered to discuss their new place in the galactic community. General Maria Sanchez, head of the UN Security Council, addressed the assembly. "The aliens consider us physically superior and unnaturally resilient," she said. "This gives us certain advantages but also creates fear. We must proceed carefully." Dr. Peter Yang, a philosopher and ethicist, offered a different perspective. "This is a moment for humanity to reflect on our unique evolution," he said. "We've always defined ourselves by our ability to overcome challenges. Now we learn that this very quality makes us exceptional in the galaxy." In the Switzerland facility, Ambassador Eric had daily meetings with UN representatives. Today, he sat across from a panel of human leaders. "Some galactic species are advocating for restrictions on human expansion," Eric explained carefully. "They fear your natural abilities give you an unfair advantage." "That seems unnecessary," replied the UN Secretary General. "We have no immediate plans for large-scale expansion." "You may not need to expand rapidly," Eric said. "But you could. Most species require worlds very similar to their homeworlds. You could potentially live almost anywhere." In another part of the facility, Kate was meeting with human scientists. They were discussing potential collaborations. "Your ability to survive in environments we find lethal could revolutionize our exploration capabilities," Kate explained. "Mixed teams of humans and other species could explore worlds previously deemed too dangerous." Dr. Williams nodded thoughtfully. "And your advanced technology combined with our adaptability could solve problems neither of us could tackle alone." Not all interactions were so positive. In the facility's recreation area, an alien diplomat was arguing with Colonel Baker. "Your species evolved alongside predators," the diplomat said accusingly. "You have predator instincts. How can we trust you won't become the galaxy's next great threat?" Colonel Baker remained calm. "Having the ability to do harm isn't the same as having the desire. We've learned to channel our competitive instincts into cooperation." That evening, Sam found Ambassador Eric alone in the facility's garden, looking up at the stars. "Are you looking for your home?" Sam asked. Eric nodded. "It's too far to see from here. Are people on your world scared of us?" Sam asked directly with the uncomplicated honesty of youth. Eric considered the question carefully. "Some are. Change is always frightening. For thousands of years, life in the galaxy followed certain rules. Then we found Earth. We don't want to scare anyone," Sam said. "We just want to be friends and learn about the universe." Eric looked at the young human. Despite their physical differences, he saw familiar emotions, curiosity, hope, and a desire for connection. "The galaxy will adjust," Eric said, "and I believe we'll all be better for having met humanity." As night fell over Earth, decisions were being made across the stars that would forever change humanity's future among the vast civilizations of the galaxy. 3 months after first contact, the Galactic Council of Sciences convened for a historic session. The Grand Chamber was packed with representatives from all 17 member species. Today they would officially classify Earth in the galactic records. High above the council floor, screens displayed images of Earth, its churning oceans, violent storms, diverse ecosystems, and the remarkable species that had evolved there. Council leader Zorak called the session to order. "For thousands of years we have categorized worlds by their habitability," Zorak began. "Class 1 represents perfect conditions for life. Class 14 represents the theoretical limit of survivability. Until now, no intelligent species had ever been found above Class 10. The chamber was silent as images of humans performing various activities filled the screens, climbing mountains, diving in oceans, running marathons in deserts, working in extreme temperatures. "Traditional classification is inadequate for Earth," continued Zorak. "Today we create a new designation." Ambassador Eric and Dr. Kate sat with the Earth delegation, led by Dr. Martinez and Colonel Baker. Young Sam had been invited as a special guest, representing Earth's future generation. The Galactic Council of Sciences hereby establishes a new planetary classification, announced Zorak. Instead of Class 14 Deathworld, Earth will be designated as a Terra-class world, honoring its Latin name. The formal declaration appeared on all screens. Terra-class world, environments of extreme variability and hazard that produce species with exceptional adaptability, resilience, and potential. A murmur ran through the chamber. For the first time in galactic history, a planet had given its name to an entire classification. This is not merely a scientific designation, Zorak explained. It represents our recognition that the standards by which we judged habitability were too narrow. Earth has taught us that life can thrive not despite harsh conditions but because of them. Back on Earth, the transmission was being broadcast to billions of humans. People gathered in homes, schools, and public squares to watch this historic moment. Dr. Martinez stepped forward to address the Council on humanity's behalf. "We are honored by this recognition," she said. "Humans have always defined ourselves by our ability to adapt and overcome. We now understand that this is our gift to the galaxy, the perspective of a species forged in adversity." In the weeks that followed, the first joint human-alien missions were approved. The Pathfinder project would send mixed teams to explore worlds previously considered too dangerous for settlement. At the Switzerland facility, now serving as Earth's galactic embassy, final preparations were underway for the Pathfinder teams. Humans trained aliens to handle various Earth conditions, while aliens taught humans about advanced technology. On the departure day, the first Pathfinder crew gathered before their ship. The team included Colonel Baker, Dr. Williams, Paul the Q, technician, and several other humans alongside aliens specially selected for their adaptability, including Kate. Ambassador Eric gave a short speech before their departure. "This mission represents the beginning of a new era," he said. "For too long, the galaxy avoided challenges instead of learning to overcome them. Humanity reminds us that difficulties can be our greatest teachers." Sam, now serving as a junior assistant at the embassy, presented each crew member with a small Earth globe. "So you remember where you came from," he told the humans. "And what you can handle," he added, with a smile to the aliens. As the ship rose into the blue Earth sky, Dr. Martinez stood beside Eric. "Do you think the galaxy is ready for us?" she asked. Eric watched the ship disappear into the clouds. "The better question is whether we were ready for you. I believe the answer is yes. Humanity's resilience will inspire other species to push beyond their limitations." High above Earth, the Pathfinder engaged its faster-than-light drive. The mixed crew of humans and aliens set course for a distant world, one that would have been deemed impossible to explore before humanity showed what was possible. In that moment, Earth's greatest export to the galaxy wasn't its technology or resources, but its living example that adversity creates strength, and that the most hostile environments can produce the most remarkable life. The Age of Terra had begun.